Hi, I'm Tony Ellsworth. Welcome to Interbike 2009. This is our trade show booth. It's new this year. We think it's a little easier to get around, so we'll see how you feel from the seat of the internet. We usually start right here with the truth, mostly because the truth is sort of where it all started for us. The truth has been a benchmark in cross-country racing, full suspension bike for about 15, 16, 17 years. And the truth is a little bit new this year. We added the ability to do size and model specific tube shaping so that we were really able to tune the ride and the characteristics of the frame by shaping the tube specific to what we're looking for in the frame. So we're actually calling it SST tubing, which stands for suede, shaped, and tapered. And the shaping procedure is what's really changed. Truth is a 4-inch cross-country bike, instant center tracking as usual. I always get the question like 5 or 6 times an hour here. It's like, hey, so what's new? And I love that question because they're generally referring to some new suspension system that they saw somewhere from somebody. And every year there's something new being introduced. And the fact of the matter is that I didn't see Sir Isaac Newton rising from the grave because the laws of physics that rotate around gravity and torque have changed. And so actually with the suspension, nothing's new. We continue to tune the zero energy suspension of instant center tracking, and the truth linkage as it is today is the same fully active zero energy consumption suspension system that it's been for now about 15 years. So still a great riding bike. What we added with the SST tubing is a little better standover, a little better stiffness and trackability through the frame, and reduced the weight slightly. It's still a 100mm travel endurance cross-country bike. Something else that's new this year is the glimpse. It's actually, this is it in its production state. We showed it last year, but it wasn't quite production ready. But this is in stock, ready to deliver. This is our I guess you'd call it an entry-level Ellsworth, if there is such a thing, right? It's like an entry-level Porsche, an entry-level Ferrari, an entry-level Ellsworth. But the deal with the glimpse is it actually is configured to be delivered right out of the box, ready to ride, with a great component group on it that makes a lot of sense financially. So it comes with a pure Shimano SLX component group. We don't mix and match components to try and get a price point or anything like that. We pretty much stick with the performance of a pure Shimano matched component group. Pure Fox suspension, pure Easton cockpit, carbon fiber Easton bars, C-post, it's a titanium leather saddle, and the Ellsworth all-mountain wheels. All ready in a box. Open up the box, put the seat and pedals on, go ride it and enjoy. It's $3,300 this year is the suggested retail price. This is the Epiphany, new for this year. It gets the SST tube shaping, which gives a little better fork crown clearance as the fork manufacturers are adding more whistles and bells and knobs and buttons to the tops of the forks. It's important to get a little more clearance under here, so just very gentle shaping. I don't like to overshape the tubes. The shortest distance between 2 points is still a straight line. Another one of those laws of physics that hasn't changed. And so we don't like to overshape the tubes, but we gently shape the tubes to get the ride characteristics that we're looking for and to increase clearances. Clearance here where you can get your hand down and switch your RP23 knob over, and just some additional clearance in the triangle. Also gave us a little more standover height. We were able to drop the top tube a little bit and maintain this clearance by dropping the top tube with the subtle shaping of the top tube, and increase standover height and lateral stiffness in the frame as well, all without adding weight. That is a super snazzy 5-axis machine part that is, it's important that we machine it. I imagine that it could be forged and secondarily machined in production, but we do handmade bikes here. So we're machining every single one of those. Every time we can make a refinement in the bike that enhances the ownership experience, that's the type of thing that's new here. Sometimes it's visible like this year, and sometimes it's not visible like last year or the year before. So last year, if you look at the video, he said, "What's new?" And I'm like, absolutely nothing's changed, which is kind of true and kind of not true because we're making changes all the time. This is new for this year. I've been working on these for about 3 years. They are carbon fiber. This is the carbon fiber Enlightenment 29. 29-inch wheel, and it comes in two sizes, a small, medium, and a large. And like, Tony, why didn't you make a small one? Like, well, the answer is, really, to be 100% honest, you can't. If you're shorter than 5'5" or so, you're going to have a hard time really getting the advantages of a 29-inch wheel without sacrificing the handling of the bike. And that's okay. There might be people that want to sacrifice the handling a little bit in order to get that rolling advantage of the 29-inch wheel. But for me, as a cyclist, I'm really only interested in a zero compromise solution. So I really wanted to stick with a small, medium. So it's got the standover height of a smaller bike, very, very similar to a 16-inch bike. And the top tube is short enough that with a short stem, you can adapt to a shorter rider. But any shorter in the top tube, you'll actually get toe overlap problems, or you have to slacken the head angle. And that gets back to the problem with 29-inch bikes handling like log trucks. And so I pretty much didn't want to go there. So right now it's available in two sizes, small, medium, and large, or an 18 and a 20. It features a fully integrated internal cable housing, routing. The cables run directly through the frame, and it seems like it'd be simple just to stick them in there. But again, you know, I tend to pay a little bit of attention to the details, and the challenge is to actually get the cables to route through the tubes far enough from the tube that they'll never rattle against it or rub the carbon fiber to wear through the frame or wear the cables or add friction to the cables. Back in the day, there used to be a truth and a dare, right? You got the angel on your shoulder, the devil on your shoulder, and we had a lot of fun with the truth and dare names. And you know, today, you know what, 17 years of full suspension bikes later, we actually have you know, a pretty broad model line. You know, one of the interesting questions I get at the show is, what's your best bike, right? And the answer is every bike we make is aimed to be the best in its category. So one of the things that happened not too long ago is the Dare, which is a long-term name, became a closed course downhill bike. When we reintroduced it in 2007 for Team Maxxis to reintroduce it, it got to be a very specific closed course downhill bike. Bottom bracket's a little lower, head angle's a little slacker, and this bike is meant for closed course downhill competition. It'll rail corners like nobody's business. It's most comfortable pointed into the steeps, and yet because of the instant center tracking technology, it'll you know, accelerate lightning quick and make sure that 100% of the rider's energy goes towards moving that bike forward. And then came the Rogue, because there were a whole bunch of people that said, oh man, I just missed it when the Dare could be on, you know, I could use it free ride, I could run 175 cranks on it, and I want a little steeper head angle. So the guys that are doing free ride stuff, you know, didn't want the closed course downhill bikes. So there was a real divergence in long travel bikes. And so we made the Rogue. And that is the difference between the Rogue and the Dare. They both share the instant center tracking rear end, but the geometry is laid out a little bit different. This is a great trail bike. Another bike that has a little bit of a dual personality. It's the most versatile bike in my product line. It's the Moment. The Moment is 150 millimeters of rear wheel travel. New for this year on the Moment is we've actually tuned, specific to the model, the shock setup for the Moment. So we have 3 shocks that are available on the Moment. The Float RP23, and this is custom tuned to the Moment. We also have an RP23 that is tuned for the Moment, that's in a dual slalom or 4-cross or mountain cross configuration. So that's it. I had to take a deep breath after all that tech talk, but you know, I love sharing that with you guys, and I wish you could all come to the show and experience with us. But you know, give us a call anytime you want to talk about any of this stuff, and we'd be happy to go over it with you. I appreciate the opportunity to work with MTBR and show you around our trailer, and enjoyed shooting the video. We'll walk out here and take a look at it from outside. And we'll just kind of look back at it. And there's the Ellsworth booth.